Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, our website, or our social media. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a white whale in platinum, extra white. This is the Patek Philippe Gondolo annual calendar minute repeater, reference 5033P-010. This model was part of a series launched in 2002 and built through 2012 with only about 80 produced. The consensus is it is fewer than 80, but very close to that number. And as you can see, this dial is the post-2004 version sans Roman numerals. Let's talk about the basic size. 38 millimeters wide, the watch measures from lug to lug 51 millimeters by a relatively svelte 12.6 millimeters thick with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. You can see the brilliant cut top Vesselton diamond between the lugs because it is a platinum Patek Philippe. We're going to throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and you can see it wears substantial. If you have a large arm, let's say you're just one of those big mountainous types, maybe a football player, this is a watch that's going to be able to hold its own with the proportions of your wrist. Although it doesn't wear huge, the impression broad, flat, and substantial is of a much larger watch than the nominal 38 millimeter width. Non-round watches wear differently, but you can also see how it'll slide easily under a cuff because of that sloped bezel and the relatively thin profile overall. Now let's take a look at the hardware and the software, as I am wont to say. We have a wonderfully thin strap. It's a thin watch, it has a thin strap. Large rectangular scale gaiter on the top, matte finish. It's a bonded strap, so you can see there's no evidence of stitching, and then there's calf skin on the underside, but it is a very svelte Patek Philippe factory strap in outstanding condition. Now you can see there are pull tab spring bars that allow you to quickly and easily remove the strap for close cleaning or swapping without resort to tools. There is a simple Patek Philippe branded white gold spade style faceted and polished pin buckle. Rolling around to the flank of the case, you can see the original repeater slide well invented by Jean-Pierre Hagman, a famous case maker. That's present and correct, although as you can see, this one is signed Patek Philippe & Co., so this is an in-house Patek Philippe case. Repeater slide, flanks, bezel, everything is in high polish here and absolutely glorious. It's more of a cushion style case than a rectangular case, and you can see that continues in the lines, which are elegant, graceful, handsomely integrated, fluid, one might even say sensuous and sinuous. The dial is silver with rose lathe guilloche at the center. You can see the azurage or concentric circular guilloche, white gold applique indices, as you can see, white gold Dauphine hands. Now, this is the dial that was used post-2004. Prior to that, the silver or black dials would have featured Roman numerals. This is a somewhat more contemporary look that was featured from second half 2004 through the close of production in 2012. It is an annual calendar, Patek's original innovation. Remember, Patek Philippe created the annual calendar in 1996, and with this aperture style display, it is far easier to read the calendar than on the pointer style radial display calendar systems. It need be adjusted only once during the jump from February to March. Once annually. That's when you adjust the calendar. By the way, take a look at the tiny white gold cabochon inboard of each of the indices. The detail on this dial runneth over. Now turn the watch over and you can see that the movement is spectacular. Now this is the R27 Petit Second QA. So it is a repeater. 27 is the size. It is a annual calendar, a QA, and Petit Second, a small second. That's the alphanumeric, but take a look at the aesthetic. That's what steals your heart, the look and the sound of this movement. Now let me get my polishing cloth and remove my surly fingerprints. It is a micro rotor automatic, so it's nice and thin. It gives you a big display case back, just like a manual, without obscuring via winding bridge and rotor. Central rotors obscure. Micro rotors open up the vista and give you that manual thin profile. 43 to 48 hour power reserve. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's adjusted in a high horology and chronometer standard 5 positions. The 44 jewel movement features a free-sprung Patek Philippe Gyromax style balance to better take and hold that precise regulation, as this example was built after the turnover of the dial in 2004, but before the rollover to the Patek Philippe in mid-2009. You can see it features the Poinçon de Genève on its balance cock. Of course, there's a 22-karat guilloche, and that is real rose-lathe guilloche cut winding mass, black polished strikers and gongs, black polished screws, lovely circular and, as you can see, linear Côte de Genève, both of them. All of the screw heads are chamfered in their slot as well as their circumference with polished heads. Every edge, as you can see, of every bridge is mirrored. That is the handsome mirrored optically smooth chamfering known as anglage, and every jewel and screw countersink, as you can see, is also polished internally. Now this is a minute repeater, so it can chime the time, and if you want to show off to your friends, you set your minute repeater to 12:59, and I'm going to do my best to get right on 12:59. Hopefully I don't roll over to 1. Is this watch perfect? Well, it has no water resistance, as you would expect in a minute repeater, but other than that, yeah, pretty much it is. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.